Hey, I'm Scott, and I'm an American in Bangkok. I got a letter from a guy named Joe, and he asked a question that actually uh, made me think a little bit, more than superficially, which maybe that's dangerous. But uh, he said, "Hi Scott, I came across your videos on YouTube while looking for information on Thailand. My niece is currently teaching at the American school in Bangkok, and I'm planning on visiting her in June with my wife and other family members. You said on one of your videos that you didn't like the vibe in Chiang Mai while talking with an expat about places to live. What did you mean? Is Chiang Mai too much of a tourist trap like Phuket?" It really made me think uh, why I said that. Because I had another question from somebody yesterday asking me why I haven't purchased a home here in Bangkok. And although money is always an issue because I don't know that we have enough money to pay cash for the kind of house that we want, the main reason is because for me now, where I am in my life, I do not want to purchase a house uh, and live in it short term. If I was going to purchase a house, I want to live in it long term. Now, I don't want to live in Bangkok long term. I want to live out somewhere in the middle of nowhere, where maybe a 3 hour drive will get me into a town, something like that. Whether it's Alaska, it's in some jungle somewhere, whether it's Thailand or elsewhere. Uh, I want my privacy and my peace, and I feel like in Bangkok you will never get peace. There is always noise, a lot of noise pollution. Now, as far as Chiang Mai goes, I actually think that the more I think about it, well, there are places in Chiang Mai that you can get away, at least temporarily. I went, I don't know how many years it was ago, maybe 7 years ago, 8 years ago. I went and stayed at this old fighter's house. He was a world champion in the late 60s and early 70s. His name is Chachai Chionoi. His family was very kind to me. They took me in their house in Chiang Mai, which was out in outside of the town. It was in like in the forest or whatever, near a waterfall, and it was very, very peaceful. And it was much like my wife's land, the house that we have in Surat, except probably even more quiet. So I actually like that. But now I guess the thing is that in order to do anything, well, uh, I guess the thing is that I may be talking more about Chiang Mai, the city. Now you hear this? Well, he stopped. Uh, this is the kind of thing I got to listen to. It doesn't matter what time it is. It can be in the afternoon. It can be 5:30 in the morning. Somebody will go by with their loudspeaker and doing this and doing that. I don't want that kind of thing. What I want is I want a big enough piece of land somewhere, uh, whether it's Nevada, Florida, Alaska. I don't really care. Whether it's on a houseboat somewhere peaceful, I really don't care. But that's what I see in my future. And I don't think that Chiang Mai is anywhere near the tourist trap that Phuket is. I lived in Phuket many years ago, and it was a tourist trap then. It's even worse now. And I would much prefer to live in Chiang Mai as opposed to Phuket. Uh, and when I say the vibe, maybe it's because now I've gotten older, and I don't have the same feelings about Thailand that I once did. I do remember going to Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai on one of my first trips to Thailand about 20 years ago, 21 years ago, and I loved it. So my perception of the city has changed, and I'm sure the city has changed also. I don't hate Chiang Mai. I don't particularly like Pattaya very much. If there's one city that I dislike, it's Pattaya. Phuket, I don't. It's not that I dislike the people. I just dislike the atmosphere and the vibe now. And the same goes for Phuket, especially not so much like Phuket town or something like that, but down by Soy Bangla and that area, down there on the beach. But Chiang Mai, I mean, if I was to live in Chiang Mai and I lived out quite a ways uh, from the city, I could see myself doing that. But if you were to tell me, oh, why don't you just move from Bangkok and go live in Chiang Mai, uh, right in the city, in the heart of the city, I don't think I would do it. Just because I'm more comfortable here, but also because I'm not going to jump in from one frying pan into the other. And I think there is a lot more to do, and it's easier to get around from here in Bangkok. And while it's probably a little noisier here, I have my ways of blocking out some of the noise. I close the windows and I go into another room in the house. If I'm in the front room, there's going to always be noise because it's right next to the road. But if I go in the back in my kids' room or something like that, even in our own, my wife and I's bedroom, if we go in there, it's much more peaceful. Uh, Not enough, though, because there's a lot of noise. And then you go into the mall, and there's people screaming on loudspeakers trying to get you and buy their perfume and their skin cream and this and that. And I just, I don't know. I just, maybe I'm getting old. Maybe I'm just a grumpy old man. I just like my peace and quiet. I mean, I don't think that's so bad, but really, that's about it, though. It wasn't that I hate the city or anything like that. And the more I think of it, the more I have to revise my answer to not just be Chiang Mai, but Chiang Mai City. I don't really think I would want to live there. Just I don't want, like I said. But if I was out away from the city where I'm out, and I'm in the forest somewhere, or I had some land, enough land to where there weren't neighbors around me every morning screaming, did you eat yet? Or what are you doing? Or how are you doing? I don't want all that. I want my peace and quiet. It's simple as that. So, anyway, that's all I got. Until next time, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Chok di la chicken.